So the role of a tank has been around for a very long time in the MMO world. Modern MMOs usually have a tank, a DPS, and a healer. The tank soaking up all the damage around all the enemies, making sure that the rest of the party stays alive. Final Fantasy XIV is no different. There are 3 tanks in the game, and they are very unique in their own way. Each of them has their own specific abilities, and you can play them in different playstyles. However, as of recently in an update, I do want to say that there has been a specific change that a lot of people have gone up into an uproar. So as of recently, I've been contacted and messaged by certain people and friends telling me that there is a certain tank change in 3.2's patch, and well, I do have my 2 cents on that matter. As it says here, there is a certain job adjustment saying that we will be changing the method for calculating the potency of physical attacks for tanks rolls. We'll be making it so vitality affects the potency of physical attacks, and as a result, the effects of strength on physical attack potency will be reduced. So what does that mean exactly? What does having your strength being reduced even though you're a strength-based tank mean? What does it do to the tank, and how does it really affect them? Well, let's go on with what they said next. From patch 3.2 onwards, you'll be safe using only vitality accessories as well as allocating everything to vitality as a tank. For everyone who's currently using strength accessories on their tanks, the damage will be lowered. So please prepare your vitality accessories ahead of time. Now, to some people, that sounds like a shitty move on Square Enix's part, but to some other people, that sounds like, oh, they should have done this a long time ago? What's the big deal? Well, in my opinion, I have to agree with some of the people who are saying that it's not really a big deal. As a person who loves Paladin, I never actually went strength-based with them. It was always vitality-based, so I never really had a problem with that. I never really went strength-based. I did for a little bit, but it never really worked out, especially since they turned parry into its own little stat, and blocking wasn't strength-based anymore. So I had no reason to be a strength-based Paladin at all. I went vitality-based, and it worked pretty well for me. But as you guys already know, I main Dark Knight, and as a Dark Knight player, I main strength, and the reason for that is because of their survivability. See, the higher strength they had, the more damage they can put out, the more damage they put out, the more they get back, whether it's MP or HP. Now, I could say it's better for the warrior to have a lot more strength. You can also go vitality with them too. I think warrior is pretty much the best tank in the game, but the warrior is also something of survivability. They have the most HP in the game, they have the highest vitality, and their strength gives them back that HP, or deals a lot of damage. I'm not kidding about that. They can dish out more damage than the Dark Knight and the Paladin, period. However, the Dark Knight does its fair share of damage, but doesn't really get back in terms of HP because they only have one move that gives them HP. Well, there's 2. We'll talk about that later. They do have HP gains back, and you guys already know what I'm talking about. The Paladin doesn't have HP gain abilities in terms of strength, they have that in terms of magic, which is not bad. The Paladin isn't really all about, hey, I'm going to do a lot of damage, they're all about the defensive skills. The Warrior and the Dark Knight, however, are kind of strength-based in terms of if I do a lot of damage to the enemy, I can get something back from them. And that's the way they work. Warrior more on that than the Dark Knight, as the Dark Knight is kind of the MP drainer. They guzzle their magic points really hard, and they base their whole entire playstyle around MP. So they're more on the, I can get my MP back and at the same time HP if I really wanted to. Meanwhile, the Warrior is, I can get my HP back and still do a shit ton of damage to the enemy. So what does this update do to the tanks? What does changing their priority from you can either be strength or vitality to, oh, you might as well just stick with vitality do to the 3 tanks? Well, to be honest guys, I don't think it's really going to affect the 3 tanks all that much, other than them just losing out in strength. Yes, I know, losing strength sucks, but again, we are tanks, and we're supposed to keep the hate. Not really doing the damage, that's what the DPS is for. They do the damage, we're the ones who keep the hate, the aggro, the enmity. That's how we work, that's how the role works. As the tanks, losing strength isn't all that bad. Gaining vitality, however, is probably a good thing. But I know, some of you guys have spent a long time getting all of these strength-based accessories, and you're now saying and looking at yourself like, I just wasted my goddamn time getting all this strength-based equipment. Now, I don't know how long it'll take me myself to get Vitality equipment. It may not take that long, it may take fucking forever, but I do have some Vitality based equipment just in reserve, and I can use that on the meantime. Besides that, I don't think what people are saying about the 3 tanks changing is going to be something like, oh, the warrior is going to now have a wiffle bat as a weapon. It's not going to do all that much damage. Meanwhile, they're still the strongest tanks in the game. And then people are saying that the paladin is going to have like a giant bludgeoner sword and is going to beat the shit out of everything. And it's going to be the best tank in the fucking game now. I still don't think the paladin is going to be the best tank in the game. I still think they're a giant fucking metal fortress that can't just go down. I highly doubt they're going to be doing all that much damage over the warrior or the dark knight. In fact, I think it's just going to be balanced out between the 3 of them. Warrior still is going to have more strength out of the 3, and dark knight is going to be balanced between the 2. Meanwhile, the paladin is still going to be the defensive wall that everybody knows and love. I don't think they're going to be dishing out all that much more damage rather than just, hey, listen, we're doing a little bit more damage rather than having the weak ass hits that we were doing with our sticky sword. Now comes the controversy. So you guys can hate me for this, you can tell me off, but this is my opinion and my opinion only, and I think a lot of you guys will agree with this. But I think the team in 14, I think they want more tanks to play the game. Now, here's an example of what I've gone through as a tank. There have been tons and tons and tons and tons of people who are sitting there in queue waiting for like 13, 15, 30 minutes, raid dungeons taking 40 minutes to get into, and a tank only takes 1 minute, or 30 seconds, or in my case, 5 seconds. It takes like 5 seconds for a tank to go in. And I've actually sat there with my friends who was sitting there as a DPS and a healer, and it took them 15 minutes to get in there. Now, I'm thinking a healer should get in as soon as possible, but apparently a healer isn't as, I don't know, endangered as a tank. Tanks are apparently not as popular as all the other roles out there, apparently. I don't really believe that. I think there are tons of tanks out there, but I think in this patch, they're focusing on making the tank class and role popular with the newer generation or newer players. I don't even know why I said generation. We're all the fucking different generations, but I think that's what they're doing. I think they want the tank to actually be more popular in the game. Now, it's not like they're not popular at all. I mean, there's a fucking Dark Knight in there. There's a giant axe-wielding giant in there. There's a knight holding a sword and shield in there. Why wouldn't you want to be a tank? And the answer to that is a mystery to me. Hey, I might be wrong. I might be right. But the thing is, I don't care. I'm just voicing my opinion. So they're putting all the physical power that a tank has into vitality, pretty much making strength kind of useless. Well, I can't say it's very useless, but it's not the way you want to go now. You might as well just go full vitality. And it hurts for me to say that, because I was a strength-based tank. Main strength-based tank. It affects me, guys. I'm affected by this as well, but I'm not taking it in a harsh way. I'm going to look at it in a more optimistic way. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe it is to attract more tanks. Maybe it's to make it easier. I mean, I had my 2 cents to say when they said fuck strength and their block rate to that a long time ago. I mean, I was upset when, hey, Paladin had 2 blocking abilities, parrying and blocking, and it was all strength based. I could have gone with that, but I went vitality based on my Paladin, and well, here I am now as a Dark Knight. Now that I'm strength based as a Dark Knight, and it doesn't matter anymore since I have to go to vitality now to make it more effective. Hey, I'm just gonna say this again. Dark Knights have the worst ult in the fucking game in terms of the tank. I mean, they have the worst ult as a tank. The worst. Paladin, my opinion, still has the best, and Warriors are still going to be kicking that ass. I don't think Paladins are gonna get that gigantic bat with nails on it as people think they are gonna have, and I don't think Warriors are gonna have a wiffle bat as a weapon no more. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think it's going to just be more balanced out between the 3. not one having more of something extravagant as the other. I mean, Warrior basically is supposed to have a shit ton of HP. The Dark Knight is supposed to adjust itself between balance of MP and HP, and the Paladin is supposed to be the wall. It's the wall. It's not supposed to dish out a shit ton of damage, it's just the wall. That's it. And having your power and vitality, I don't know if it really changes much. I know that it does help the Paladin. Yes, I know, it sounds kind of biased, but it does help the Paladin. But it helps all three of them, in fact. It helps all three of them survive the battlefield a lot longer. That's my 2 cents, guys. You think I'm wrong? Leave it in the comments below. Hell, you think I'm right? Leave it in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think of this. Do you think this is a bad thing? Do you think this is a horrible, shitty thing? Or perhaps you're in the middle of the road like I am. Perhaps you're going to look at this at an optimistic view, or perhaps you want to shoot Square Enix in the face. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I just want you guys to voice your opinion. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if the update affects you. Are you one of those tanks that were strength-based and now is like, what the fuck, I don't want to be vitality-based, whatever. So, I'll see you guys in the next video, and stay tuned because I have an announcement after this. Thank you for watching my video, guys. Thank you for making it to the end. You guys are awesome for it. And before you leave, before you press that X or go to another, video and all that other good stuff, I just want to let you guys know I have started a Patreon account, and it's in the link in the descriptions below. If you want to check that out, and if you're the kind and courageous person that I know you are, you can go ahead and become my Patreon over there. I'm not asking for it, but it is an option and all that good stuff. You can check it out and see what I have over there. Just to let you guys know, I'm having this big kerfuffle with Machinima. Yeah, I've been with them for over 2 years now, and I don't want my contract to be renewed, so I'm dealing with that shit right now, which is one of the reasons why I started a Patreon. And, it's Machinima. They're bullshit. I've been trying to contact somebody for weeks, and nothing. Like, the fuck? Can't stand Machinima. Machinima is shit. Like, you really need to pull your leg off just to talk to somebody for a second. I talked to a person in an email once out of all these 4 weeks. Like, fuck Machinima. Fuck them.